With Draymond Green at 35, Jimmy Butler at 36, Stephen Curry at 37, and Al Horford at 39, the Dubs will be the first team of all time to start 4 players at age 35 or above in NBA history. Despite their age, these Uncs remain some of the most elite basketball players in the world, which is pretty incredible considering the mileage they've racked up. Butler still averaged 17.5 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 5.4 assists last season. Green finished top 10 in defensive estimated plus-minus. Horford was 8th in defensive rating among centers last season, and Steph continues to be Steph, leading the Warriors in scoring while ranking 4th among point guards in true shooting percentage. This group might be the oldest starting core in history, but it's also one of the smartest, most disciplined, and most battle-tested. For Golden State, experience has become a weapon rather than a liability. When you combine that with the younger legs around them, the Warriors' 2025-26 roster feels like a carefully crafted balance of wisdom and energy. This roster is easily the Warriors' deepest and most versatile since their 2021-22 championship team. Back then, Otto Porter Jr. was a reliable wing who provided spacing, smart rotations, and steady defense, filling a critical role off the pine. Nemanja Bjelica, meanwhile, was primarily a situational front-court shooter who could stretch the floor in limited minutes, but wasn't relied upon for defense or playmaking. Fast forward to 2025, and the Warriors have upgraded those roles with much more dynamic players. Instead of Porter's limited perimeter role, the team features D'Anthony Melton and Moses Moody, both of whom can guard multiple positions, create transition opportunities, and switch seamlessly in pick-and-roll scenarios. In place of Bjelica's situational floor spacing, Golden State now has Al Horford, Brandin Podziemski, and a should-be-developed Quentin Post in his second year, who combines spacing with defensive versatility, high basketball IQ, and the ability to facilitate offense from the elbow or high post. Around them, shooters like Buddy Hield and Seth Curry provide consistent floor spacing and secondary playmaking, allowing the team to run multiple lineups without losing efficiency. Compared to 2021-22, the Warriors roster is more multi-dimensional, loaded with players who can impact the game on both ends, and capable of adjusting to any matchup in ways Porter and Bjelica never could. Newly assembled Splash Brothers Seth and Steph Curry are 2 of 3 active players, alongside former Splash Brother Klay Thompson, to have posted 9+ seasons of shooting 40+% from three-point range. That distinction isn't just trivia, it represents an enduring and almost unmatched ability to consistently stretch defenses at the highest level. With Seth coming off the bench or even sharing the floor with Steph, defenses can never relax. Switching, hedging, or overhelping becomes a constant calculation, and any lapse is immediately punished. Defenders are pulled out of position, driving lanes open, and rotations are forced, creating opportunities for cutters, roll men, or open shooters like Buddy Hield. Speaking of Hield, his presence amplifies the effect, turning the floor into a live minefield where even a slight defensive misstep is exploited. This isn't nostalgia for the Splash era, it's a structural evolution of spacing and offensive gravity. Steph no longer has to carry the perimeter threat alone. The Warriors can run lineups with 3 or 4 elite shooters simultaneously, forcing opponents into nearly impossible rotations and leaving very little margin for error. In effect, this combination transforms Golden State's offensive spacing into one of the most efficient and unmanageable systems in the modern NBA. Then, there's question marks about the Warriors' size. A recent post from Clutch Points pointed out that Seth Curry, Steph Curry, Gary Payton II, D'Anthony Melton, Brandin Podziemski, Buddy Hield, and Moses Moody gives Golden State 7 guards listed at 6'5" or shorter. On paper, that might look like a roster imbalance, but the reality is much different. Clutch Points doesn't account for the fact that both Moody and Payton play more like forwards, often guarding wings and switching on to bigger players. Podziemski, meanwhile, was a massive part of Golden State's defense post-All-Star break when they ranked number 1 in the league, thanks to his rotations and rebounding instincts. And Melton, he's 6'2", but plays like he's 6'6" with a 6'8" wingspan, and has elite defensive metrics at both guard and wing spots. The supposed lack of size is misleading. What the Warriors actually have is versatility, folks. They may not have many 7-footers, but their defensive schemes allow them to play bigger than their measurements. It's also worth noting that Golden State's small ball approach has never relied on traditional size to win. During the dynasty years, they often closed games with Draymond at center, surrounding him with shooters and versatile defenders. That blueprint has only upgraded with this roster. Horford provides the rim protection Bogut once did, Butler's a defensive wing with toughness reminiscent of Andre Iguodala, and the guard depth ensures they can swarm opponents with ball pressure. Size in today's NBA isn't just about height, it's all about strength, switchability, and defensive intelligence. By those measures, the Warriors aren't undersized at all. Instead, they're built like a Swiss Army knife. Every piece fits into a role that keeps the defense airtight and the offense spread out. Another element that sets this roster apart is its adaptability. In past years, injuries or fatigue exposed the Warriors' lack of depth, forcing Steph or Draymond to shoulder too much of the load on both ends. But with this mix of veterans and shooters, Golden State can run balanced rotations. Seth Curry and Buddy Hield can provide instant scoring bursts, Melton can run second units while locking down opposing guards, and Butler can take pressure off Steph by running offense in crunch time. Even Moody and Podziemski bring flexibility that Porter and Bjelica never did. If the Warriors want to play fast, they can go small with 4 shooters and Draymond at the 5. If they want to grind teams down, they can lean on Butler, Horford, and Melton in a half-court battle. This roster isn't just talented, it's customizable. What truly makes this group special, though, is the balance between legacy and urgency. Steph, Draymond, Butler, and Horford know their windows are closing, which raises the stakes on every possession. That urgency filters down to the younger players who understand they're being trusted to extend the dynasty. For the veterans, it's about legacy, adding one more banner to already Hall of Fame careers. For the younger role players, it's about proving they can carry the torch when the legends retire. This dynamic creates a level of intensity and buy-in that not every roster can replicate. The Warriors aren't just chasing another title, they're fighting to define eras. Ultimately, the Golden State Warriors of October 2025 represent the most complete roster they've had since their championship run in 2021-22. The combination of shooting, defense, versatility, and leadership is unmatched across the association. And I know, critics may question their age, their size, or even whether the chemistry will come together. But the pieces fit in ways that echo the dynasty years. Steph may be 37, but he's surrounded by more talent and more insurance than at any point in the last 3 seasons. Butler brings edge, Horford brings stability, and Seth adds firepower to an already legendary backcourt story. If this group stays healthy, they won't just be competitive, they'll be unstoppable, folks.